My name is Lazarus Benson, and I'm from Casper, Wyoming. My goal in life is to be an inspiring musician. I really want to inspire people and help them through their lives. I really want to make music as a career because I love it. I love doing it. I love, expressing my emotions and telling the stories that I've had through my life. And maybe those stories can help others grow. And that's really what my goal in life is to help others out and maybe shine some light and show them that, yeah, there's going to be dark times, but if you just push through, things only get better from there. And it may not feel like it, but man, it's just got to keep pushing. So yeah, my goal in life is to, make music a career and also help others as I'm doing it. So I have been entertaining people since I was just a young boy at 6 years old. I actually was a magician, but I dabbled in music as I was growing up, and I really was more into being this cool magician. I did for a really long time until about 2018 when some things just hit and I kind of just didn't really want to do it much anymore. And so I figured, I could really start putting my music out there. And so I've been entertaining people since I was 6 years old. I'm 32 now, so I've been entertaining people for a very long time, whether that came to magic or music. And I have done a few music shows and I've done tons of magic shows, so I've been entertaining for a really long time. The message that I convey through my music is that, there's hope and you got to be strong and you got to keep going. There's going to be a lot of bad times. And I know from my experience growing up the way I did, I grew up homeless and really rough. So maybe I can reach someone and show them that, yes, things do get better and just always keep a positive mind. And I know it's hard. And that's why the music exists, because I want people to see that these bad things happen to me, but I'm here in this position now to give you such an awesome message, and I'm here to help you. And I mean, literally, I will reach out to fans, even if it's through the music or through like a message. I'm still gonna try to help people out the best I can, and so I want my music to convey a lot of inspiration for people. The story of Monster is really, I'm taking monsters and I'm using them as if they were the abuser in a relationship. And the reason I did this is because my mom went through a lot of abusive relationships while I was growing up, and even in my 20s there was like a crazy one where the guy actually tried to kill her and stuff and said he was going to come kill me and all these crazy things. And so this really is tied to the story of my mom and these kind of abusive relationships that I saw as I was growing up. And man, it was so hard to watch that. It was also so hard to write the song because, like, I gotta tell this story, but man, it was so hard because there's so many things I had to watch. And the story of Monster just cycles around this abusive relationship that my mom had. And it's not just one, there's two in there that I specifically remember. And it really cycles around those and talking about how these people that are the abusers are monsters on the inside. And it still cycles around the fact that people have bad relationships. So it's also still about that and how people can be monsters in relationships, and that's how this came along. So the story of Monster is about the abusive relationships that my mom had and what I had to witness as I was growing up, what she had to go through. So I put myself in her shoes to really try and see what was there. The ultimate message of Monster is to really help people. It's to say it's hard for those people to stand up to their abusers. And so here's an example of what I'm saying the message of Monster is. My mom used to call me, and there was this guy who used to beat her. And I was about 24, 23 years old, and she used to call me and she would have me come pick her up because she was scared. She didn't want to be there. So that's the ultimate message of Monster is when those people need your help them. You know, reach out to them, make sure they're okay. And that's what I did every day for my mom. And that's kind of the message of Monster. And especially that comes with the chorus line when I'm saying tired of the problems, sick of the games. No, I can't love the monster that you became. These people weren't monsters at first, but then all of a sudden they just became these monsters. So, my mom needed my help, and so that's what I did. And that's the ultimate message I want people to get from Monsters, that help those people out, make sure they're okay, check on them, check on your loved ones, even if they're your friends or you see people outside doing it, just out in the street. Check on those people, make sure you let them know it's going to be okay and help them out. So that's the ultimate message behind Monster. Well, there would be some interesting trivia to Monster, and it would be that there was one specific story that it really cycles around. And you can actually find a real story about this. It was my mom went on A&E, and they filmed a series, and she spoke about her situation and the guy that beat her and stuff like that, and it turned into this huge thing, and he got wanted by the FBI. So I guess that would be a lot of trivia behind it, is the one story that helped me make this song is not so much through my perspective, but my mom's, and I really wanted to step in her shoes. So the trivia behind that is there's one specific story that just hit me so hard, and that was what I used, and it was hard to write. And like I said, there's not too much trivia behind it, but that's the one interesting piece, is that I'm taking the perspective of my mom and seeing those people as monsters. And like I said, it's not so much my perspective. There are definitely some people I gotta thank, like my dude T-Zank. He mixed and mastered everything that I sent him, so I gotta thank him for that, because it came out really good. The mix did. My girlfriend, she's always been behind me. My mom especially, and my sisters, because they know the stories that I tell are going to be hard because they're about our life, and so I have to thank them for really never criticizing me or anything on that, and letting me tell my story and letting me tell their stories and helping me show the kind of lives that we lived. Just thank my fans and everybody else that has supported me along the way. I am definitely a fan of many genres of music. But some of my favorite bands are like From Ashes to New. I think it'd be really cool to work with them. They're probably one of my favorite bands. Bullet for My Valentine is like my all-time favorite band. Bad Omens. I'd like to work with some bands like that. That'd be really cool. Even some hip-hop artists. Even some rappers like Hopsin. I really enjoy Hopsin. Dude's got some amazing content and just some amazing wordplay. Eminem, obviously, that's always an inspiration to people who are rapping. And so, I get into all these cool genres, and I'd really like to work with anybody, whether they're a pop artist or rock artist. But my idolized kind of music really stems from rock and metal. So that's where I kind of get my I idolized music from, especially artists like I said, Linkin Park, Bullet for My Valentine, Bad Omens, From Ashes to New. Those bands are really probably my idols, and I really love the way they put these things together and stuff. So that is just about it for me on that part, and I really love to one day hopefully work with some of those guys and some of these cool hip-hop artists and rap artists and come up with some cool things. In 3 years, I see myself pursuing this as a career, and I just have that feeling, that like you can do it. And so I see myself in 3 years really doing this as a career, and it would be awesome. And I don't see myself like as this huge artist or anything, but I see myself, having fans and building this cool fan base around the type of music I make and the style. And that's where I see myself in 3 years, is really having a career out of this and helping others all along the road. So that's where I see myself in 3 years. Now, it's funny this question comes up. How would I like to stretch the genre of music in the future? Because Monster is actually stretching the genres of music. I started out when I made the beat with a pop melody. That was the first thing that I made. Then I threw in some hip hop drums and some rock rhythm guitars, and I used the rhythm guitars to make the bass essentially and make it be the rhythm. And that was the chords I used. I used rock chords, pop melodies, and hip hop drums. And then that's how I came up with the beats. So I started stretching the genres already, but I really want to keep pushing it down the road, because I really thought to myself, what kind of music do I want to make? How do I want to step out of the box? And that's exactly it. You gotta kind of explore things and experiment and see what you come up with. So it's funny this question's here, because Monster is actually the start of me starting to explore these genres and piece them together. I have already started working on some of my next projects, and one of them actually involves T-Zank. We have a song that we're working on. It's a lot different from Monster. This is probably more metal based and hip hop based than it is pop and rap and rock. There's a few others that I'm also working on. I have them pieced together. I have the courses already lined out. It's just a matter of, going through and start putting in my verses. So there's a lot I already have working on, and they're all going to sound way different. A lot of them still have guitars, and that's what I'm kind of going to base it around still, is some guitars, because essentially I am a rock and metal artist, but I still want to combine different genres of music. So not all of them may have guitars in the future, but I do want to keep playing around with things. And so a lot, like I said, the one with T-Zank is more of a metal and rap kind of vibe. It's got more of that kind of new metal tone, but it's a little bit different from Monster especially. There are some other ones that are a lot slower, like one I'm working on called Escape. There's another one called Creatures. It's got more of like a Imagine Dragons kind of vibe. So there are a lot of different projects that I'm already starting to put together, and they're almost done. It's just a matter of putting verses in now. I'm Lazarus Benson, and you're listening to the Carry On Harry Show. Don't forget to check them out and throw them some positive vibes.